There are a few things that can kind of slow up how a baby's entering into the pelvis. So I showed you the optimal way is with the baby coming down this way. Sometimes babies like to come down this way. Sometimes they're over here. Coming down this way usually is pretty good. It's usually not a problem. But babies coming down this way, coming down directly like this with their chin kind of flexed, coming down with their chin really down like this, these can all cause problems. And so we're going to talk about some things that may help your body, your baby and your body, help your baby choose a better position and hopefully help your birth. Now your baby, if you are in your last trimester, usually is head down. And most babies, their head is on the mom's left side. Sometimes on the right side, and actually that's just fine. It's just more common this way. Now, you also can have babies that like to face the front. We generally don't like that because, let me show you. The diameter of the baby's head, like this, is the smallest part. And this is the part that we want to come out of you first. If we look here, see how much bigger my hands have to go? Here, my fingers are totally overlapping. Here, they're overlapping, but not much. Now, let's look at your pelvis. And when your baby is facing forward and its head is tucked, look at that small amount that is coming through your pelvis. Now, let's look at if baby is coming face forward. There's a lot more bony structures that tend to get into the way. So, we're going to go over some exercises that can help keep your baby facing the right direction, or if your baby is facing in what we call an occiput posterior direction, can help baby turn around. Nothing's guaranteed, but it's things that can help. We are going to talk about something called the lift and tuck. Some of you may notice that your bellies stick way out. Some of you might have a flatter belly, okay? Yes, a nice flatter belly. Now let's look at that. When that baby is flat, look what's going on. Its head is automatically flexed. It's curving down with the chin down. However, if we let this baby drop way forward, we have a baby who has to go around a corner to get into your pelvis. So what we're going to talk about is something called the lift and tuck. First thing that you're going to do is you are going to tuck your pelvis just a little bit. So kind of curve your pelvis in. Perfect. And then you are going to reach underneath your belly or your baby. And while you have a contraction, you are going to lift your baby toward you. This will help your baby's head curve down and aim more toward your pelvis. Now we've put the baby inside the shirt. And the reason we're doing that is because it's going to demonstrate the lift and tuck a little bit better. Often when women are in labor, it is really hard for them to think about lifting on their belly. And so often we have partners do it. So I'm going to come around behind. And one thing that I want what I want Sonia to do is lean into me, kind of with her low back. Exactly, perfect. And then I'm going to reach down, and while she's having a contraction, she may not like this. Sorry, patient, you may not like this. We are going to lift on the belly just a little bit to help bring that baby in and help the head to flex. Another way that we can do that is over at the wall, because partners often get tired. We have this nice wall here. I'm going to just get myself nice and stable against the wall. Sonia, I want you to come in front of me, and she's going to just lean in front of me, and I can help support her, and I can also do the lift and tuck. So I have some exercises I'd like to demonstrate for you that you can start anytime after 32 weeks. These exercises can help balance the ligaments in your uterus, or the ligaments that support your uterus and the ligaments in your pelvis, so that your baby can come into a better position in your body. The first of the three exercises I'm going to show you is the Rebozo. A Rebozo is basically a scarf or a sheet that is not overly long, but not stretchy. You don't want to use like a stretchy cotton or a knit. You want to use a woven material. So find a place in their house that you can do this. You often want to use a cushion below the knees, and then the woman has to be able to lay down with her chest relaxing on something so that she is not holding herself up. And you put your cloth around the belly. Making sure that it's going around the pregnant belly, which is not in this particular model, but that's okay. And you want to start slowly. First, you just do a gentle lift up. And if you'll notice, my knees are kind of just resting on her bum, just to help support me as well. Just a gentle lift up. And usually, this feels fairly comfortable. Sonia, does that feel okay?
Yes, it feels very good.
Yeah, usually people like this on their back. And then you will slowly start to alternate movements in your hands. And I say slowly because we don't want to surprise the uterus, which can cause some spasming. And then you're going to do a few minutes of shaking. This does make you sweat. I will let you know that. It makes your arms pretty tired, but it's only like 3 minutes when you're doing this to prepare for birth and to help your uterus relax and the ligaments that support your uterus to relax. So what this does is the vibration and the just little small movements helps all the ligaments that have been supporting the uterus to relax and rest. And often they are like really short on one side or really long on another side. And this just helps them to say, oh, maybe I need to change position. So you do this for about 3 minutes. And then you slow your hands down. Again, you don't want to do anything really fast because it can kind of shock the body. Just kind of keep some gentle pressure and then release. So the second exercise we're going to do is the side leg release. So remember, the order is Rebozo and then sideline release. And then we're going to do a third exercise, which is called the inversion. So this is the sideline release. I will tell you, this is not usually people's favorite exercise. However, this is the one that helps balance the ligaments that support the pelvis. So it is quite important. Most people during labor do not like this position. When you're not in labor, you can tolerate it pretty well, but it's okay if you don't like it. It's still something good for you to do. All right, so you will lay down on the side of the bed. And at your home, you will need to find something to lean against. The back of a chair is often a good thing to use, and that's what we're going to use here because we're demonstrating what you could do at home. All right, I'm going to put this up to the side of the bed. Now, Sonia, I'm going to need you to move to the edge of the bed. I'm going to have you straighten out your legs, and you are going to move closer to the edge of the bed. This is why side release requires a partner, because you will fall off whatever you're laying on if you do this by yourself. You cannot do this by yourself. All right, Sonia, can you put your hand up here? Now, what is important is that her shoulders stay straight on top of each other. Her hips stay straight on top of each other, okay? That is your only job. Pay attention to the alignment of your body and just lay here, okay? Now, when you're pregnant, often your belly is sticking off the edge of the bed, okay? Because your hips are right on the edge. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you straighten this bottom leg, Sonia, so you're kind of straight like an arrow. Now Sonia, I want you to do nothing else. The person who is helping does all the work. The pregnant woman who's laying down just lays there, okay? But pays attention to the alignment of her body. All right, so I'm going to lift up your top leg, and I want you to relax your leg muscles. Let me hold your leg, Sonia. There we go, that's feeling better. And we are going to bring it forward. I'm going to keep my hand nice and firmly on her hip. I'm going to let this leg come down. And this leg hangs. As you can see, you would fall off the bed if someone wasn't holding you on, which I am actually holding her on the bed right now. I'm paying attention to her hips being stacked on top of each other and her shoulders being stacked on top of each other. You want to stay in this position for about 3 minutes. You should notice that you feel extreme stretch here, but what this is doing is it's allowing any ligament that is totally spasmed in this area to relax because it's not holding up anything. And that relaxation can help it lengthen, which is a good thing. So your leg might get closer and closer and closer to the ground over those 3 minutes. We're going to return to the neutral position, which means I lift up her leg. You don't move your leg. We're just going to take a minute and be still. And then you will change over to the other side and do the other side. You have to keep both sides balanced. The third exercise is the inversion. And I'm going to explain the importance of the inversion while we go. All right, so the first thing you're going to have to do is find a chair or a sofa where you can get onto your knees. And you're going to stand all the way up, and you're going to stick your belly out just a little bit. Very good. And then you're going to go down to a place of safety, which is where you put your hands on the edge. And then you're going to move down one hand to the floor, and then you're going to keep going down to your elbows. Perfect. And you're going to tuck your chin. You're going to be in this position for about 3 breaths. Now, I'm going to have Sonia pause here. The reason why we do this position is because your belly is hanging from your pelvis in this position. So if you think about a shopping bag, a plastic shopping bag, if you hold it by one handle, things are tight over here and floppy over here. If you hold it by the other handle, same way. This helps things to get balanced and to equally stretch and kind of pull down on your pelvis. Your uterus is kind of stretching to the floor, if that makes sense. All right, so we're going to do about 3 breaths, and we're going to come back up into safety position. Kind of pause here. This is where people often get very dizzy. You need to have someone with you to make sure you do not fall. And then you come up to what I'm going to call victory position, where you stick your belly out. And in this position, often your baby enters down into your pelvis and gets a little bit deep.